Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jay from TNJ. And make sure you hit that like button because you can see on the screen now we have our first commit here at Coastal. Allen King, a free safety, only 58 overall, but remember, we're going after only 1 stars. And some of these guys are over 1 star, like he's a 2-star, but it's only because I made the custom recruits and it doesn't tell you what star they're going to be when creating them. So I like him. I mean, he's an 89 speed guy, 87 acceleration. I don't know if he's going to touch the defense much because his tackling is a little low, and his zone coverage is at 66, man, at 60. But I do like what he's going to bring to the return game. He's going to be immediately our fastest guy on the roster. So it's going to be cool to have a guy that we can rely on speed. And you never know, he could probably touch the field on offense as well. And using that speed, it's going to be pretty good. So we do have a lot of visiting prospects this week. And if you look at here, all the guys you see at week 8, I mean, they're pretty much, here's a guy I need to schedule. Let's see where I should schedule him. So it looks like if I schedule him here, he's going to get a lot of complimentary visits. Even though he gets the -50 with one of the linemen, I do still like him because he has other guys visiting. So a lot of these guys are week 8, week 11. I kind of split it up into those 2 weeks, and mainly because we do play Middle Tennessee State this week. So I did want to get the easy points just in case, like, you know, we have a big game we can have versus a bad school, and we'll see how that goes. So I'm going to pretty much schedule visits so that versus Texas State, the defensive guys come, and versus Middle Tennessee, more of the offensive guys come. So I want them to kind of complement each other. So I'm going to put Oliver Sacks in here. He's a guy that I really am looking forward to. He's got 72 finesse moves, 68 block shed. I'm pretty sure I'm going to redshirt him, but after that redshirt year, I think he's going to be pretty good. From Memphis, Tennessee, we do want to kind of acquire Tennessee as a pipeline state. You see we have Brandon Jones from Tennessee as well, and let's see what he's going to be unlocked as. 84 speed, not too bad, but his man coverage is pretty low, but we are ahead by 2,000 there. One of the guys that I'm really excited for is Justin Johnson. I think he's my number 1 recruit. He's going to be the best receiver coming in, 64 overall. I did unlock his attributes fully. 71 catching. Route running isn't too great. I mean, it's not horrible, but it's 61. He definitely needs to work on it. But being a taller guy, I'm going to be looking to throw the ball deep to him. 6'4", 190. We'll see if he even starts his first year. If he doesn't, I'm probably going to redshirt him, save those 4 years of eligibility. We'll see. So Jack Kleck, another guy, he is a JUCO tight end. He's one of the top guys that I want as well. So let's just see our matchup versus Middle Tennessee State. So we might be able to exploit their defense a little bit because you look at their total defense, they're ranked in the bottom like 15 in the NCAA, 110 in total defense, 115 in rush defense, 105 in pass defense. So we might be able to expose them a little bit. And they do pass the ball pretty well, 200 yards per game pretty much, 51 in the nation. Let's just look at their schedule and who they've played recently, because they are 1-4. So they lost to FAU and OT. Southern Miss, they got blown out by. Troy, they pretty much got blown out by. They did beat Navy though. You know, Navy messed us up and they ended up beating them. So this actually might be a pretty tough game. And then they lost to BYU by 10 points. So if they beat Navy, I'm pretty sure they're a tough team. So we're going to have our work cut out for us. So let's look at their leaders. Stockstill, 8 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Let's look at their ratings coming up. And then James is their leading receiver, 362 yards, 3 touchdowns. But first, let's just address the players of the game last week. I'm going to go with Orlando Norman, mainly because he had 2 big pass breakups, and, you know, I like what I'm seeing from him. A lot of teams aren't really going at him, so I'm going to give him a boost in awareness. So good to see him doing good things on defense. And then on the offensive side, is there really a debate? I mean, Marcus Milam did his thing, so he definitely deserves this. And I'm looking forward to this matchup, seeing what he can do in this matchup. So you can see Brent Stockstill, I mean, he's a good quarterback. 88 overall, 83 speed, 85 excel, 88 throw power, 86 throw accuracy. So he's going to be a beast. So we're going to have to look out for him. And let's look at their top running back here, Maurice Gordon. He's okay, 85 speed, 88 excel. He doesn't do anything great right now, but we still got to look out for the running game. And then their leading receiver, Richie James, he's 90 overall, 90 speed, 92 excel, Chris Melton, 86 overall. He's a right outside linebacker. Seems like a lot of teams' leading tacklers are the right outside linebacker. I don't know why that is. And then Walter Brady's a guy who I have to look out for on the end. So he's a pretty good defensive end. So let's hop into this game. Let's see what we are made of. Can we start a win streak a little bit? So let's get into this gameplay. Let's get it. Let's go. So Middle Tennessee State actually comes out with a guy that we didn't even have on our scouting report at quarterback, and Orzua. I mean, this guy can run. As you can see on the first play from scrimmage, he's breaking free from Orlando Norman. And what disaster for us, John Orzua. Who is this guy? I mean, literally came off the bench and is all of a sudden starting for Middle Tennessee State. So now we're down 7-0. I mean, it hasn't even been a minute into this game. Marcus Milam building off what he had last week. And remember last week he had a pretty good game. Throwing the ball, run the ball. I mean, however he had to get it done. But here he's taken a huge sack that time. And luckily we have Cameron Yates to scoop up that fumble. So now facing a 3rd and 21 here early on in this game. And he overthrows Sam Forbes by a long shot as Middle Tennessee State takes over in our territory. So now Middle Tennessee State at the 30-yard line just about, and here is Smith getting the reception and getting inside the 10-yard line. So here is Orzua one more time running the read option, breaks a tackle. And that is literally 2 touchdowns in less than 2 minutes into the game. So Coastal finds themselves down 2 scores already, as Sean DeQuan does catch the reception that time, getting a nice 14-yard carry. So here comes Milam on a 1st and 10 this time, throwing to Cameron Yates and fitting it in there. Nice pitch and catch that time, Cameron Yates. He's a receiver too. Look where that ball is thrown. I mean, that is on the money, the throws that we like to see. So at least we're moving the ball here. So 14-0, but trying to get a 1st down this time, but we cannot hold on to the ball. So now on a 3rd and 9, Garcia throwing out wide, and that one's not even close. So Marcus Milam, we put him back in there. Have to go for it on a 4th and 9 and missing Sam Forbes by a long shot once again. And Orzua and this Middle Tennessee State offense takes back over. And look at this. I mean, giving the ball to James here, his favorite receiver, Richie James. I mean, he's getting 35 yards easy. So Orzua is doing a really good job of leading this offense down the field as he's giving it to Maurice Gordon this time for a big carry. So now on a 2nd and 7, finally some penetration that time on Michael Brock Thompson. Nice tackle that time by the linebacker. So now 3rd and 9, Orzua throwing the ball deep, and Richie James leaps and dives and comes up with that reception. And Middle Tennessee State is up 21-0 here in the 1st quarter. So we have to put together a drive. I mean, we have to score at this point. So here is Sean DeQuan getting that reception that time, but Cameron Yates trying to run the counter gets stopped behind the line. So 3rd and 14, here's Marcus Milam throwing the ball over the middle, but nobody's home. But take a look. Pass interference on the defense gives us new life as we start this next drive again. Out on the 50-yard line here, Sam Forbes over the middle, but he takes a big hit. Sam Forbes is down, so he has to get replaced for a little bit. We'll hear more about that coming up, but here is Marcus Milam once again throwing to Sean DeQuan. Nobody within 10 yards of him, and a wide open missed opportunity. So now on a 3rd and 10, here's Marcus Milam rolling out to the right, this time diving for the 1st down. He's showing that he's got a heart. 21-point deficit
Here he is on a 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line, this time finding Paco Ashton on the outside. So now we're cooking. Inside the 10-yard line, Cameron Yates in the backfield, and that's easy money. That's touchdown. Cameron Yates, 10-yard carry. Remember, he was running the ball pretty well last game as well. So I'm finding a pretty good niche for him in the offense, and I like what he's bringing to the table. He can run with power. He shows that he actually can run with a little bit of speed, and he's a receiver. So he's like an all-around back right now. So back out on defense, here is Maurice Gordon getting the draw play that time. And Urzua on the fake read option, rolling the ball out left, and somehow stiff arms Terry and gets to the 25-yard line. So now Urzua 1st and 10 onto the second quarter this time. Sending a blitz, Michael Brock Thompson taking up a block, and Anthony Lorenz cleans it up for him. So now on a 3rd and 10, running a screen pass, Urzua gets it out to Terrell West. And Terrell West finds the 1st down marker. So we cannot stop this offense as Urzua gets around Lorenz that time and Danny Armstead, and somehow gets 9 yards. So he's already at 100 yards rushing in this game. As on the next play, he rolls out right, and I have no idea what Orlando Norman was doing on that one. Throwing over his shoulder. He didn't even go back and get the ball. He just let the receiver catch it. So now we're down 3 scores once again, and we have to put together a few drives. I mean, we got to score on pretty much every drive at this point. So here is Cameron Yates finding a hole and getting a nice 20-yard carry up the middle that time. And now we are past the 50-yard line. Cameron Yates one more time, putting a move on the defender and getting another 20-yard gain. So now we're inside the 30-yard line here on a 1st and 10. This time Marcus Miller is going to throw the ball deep to the right side, and C.J. Goodwin spins his way inside the 5-yard line. So Marcus Milam making a couple of good throws here as Cameron Yates finishes off the drive for the 3-yard touchdown run, as we are now down 2 scores. So now here comes Urzua back out on offense, read option to the right side, and we just cannot stop this man. 13 yards on that carry as Urzua this time throwing out to his receiver in the flats, Tucker, and making a move and getting the 1st down. So here's Urzua from the shotgun one more time, trying to scramble this time but can't get away as Michael Brock Thompson, I believe, gets the sack. And on a 2nd and 10, this time finding his receiver Shane Tucker for the 12-yard reception. So this offense is just moving the ball as Terrell West gets the handoff, runs over 2 defenders, and finds his way to the end zone. And I mean, just unbelievable. This Middle Tennessee State offense cannot be stopped at this point, and we have to get on the board. 2.5 minutes left in this first half as Marcus Milam finding Mason. Actually, that's Amari Manuel over the middle and getting past the 50-yard line. So now on a 1st and 10 this time, finding Paco Ashton on the outside. Another 1st down. So we're moving the ball pretty well. And now that we're down 3 scores, we're just airing the ball out. So here is Amari Manuel deep, and Marcus Milam finds him in the back of the end zone. What a beautiful throw. And he put it in a spot where only his guy can get it, nobody else. So now here comes Middle Tennessee State trying to put together a 2-minute drill before half. And here's Urzua from the shotgun, feeling the pressure, rolling out left. But Adam Pritchard is there for the hit. And look who picks it up, Ryan Marshall, the sophomore middle linebacker. There to pick it up and scoop and score, Adam Pritchard. And he's been all over the field the last couple games. I remember that sequence a couple games ago He made every single tackle on a short drive. I mean, he's starting to show up. But back out on the ensuing possession, Maurice Gordon getting the screen pass and breaking this one all the way to the house. Urzua is just on the money this game so far. He's 10 for 10 after that throw. Over 100 yards. I mean, he is just killing. So now back on offense. Now so much offense in this first half. Now under a minute left. Here is Cameron Yates showing his receiving skills, getting inside the 25-yard line. So now here comes Marcus Milam one more time. Throwing to the outside, but throws that one a little bit too low for Amari Manuel. So we do have the win to our back. So we do kick the field goal before half. And we go into halftime down by 11 points, 42-31. But we do get to start this second half out with the ball, but not before we get some bad news. Sam Ford's broken ribs, out 4 weeks. So that means that guys like CJ Goodwin and Paco Ashton are going to have to step up big time, because we all know what Sam Ford was. He was that guy that always got us yards when we needed, was always running good routes, always was dependable. And we're going to need a lot of dependable guys on the offensive side of the ball. So back out in the second half, here is CJ Goodwin. Like I said, he's got to step up, getting a nice 9-yard reception. Got tripped up that time, but on a 3rd and 1, trying to run the ball with Cameron Yates, but gets stopped. So now on a 4th and 3, running a read option, and there is Milam finding some running room, getting inside the 30-yard line. So now on a 1st and 10 here, 4 minutes left in this third quarter, throwing across the middle. So we're moving the ball pretty nicely on this drive. So here is on a 3rd and 6, finding CJ Goodwin. He's stepping up in this game, 17 yards on that reception as we run Cameron Yates inside the 5-yard line on the jet sweep, and he powers his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So now it's a 5-point game. We got to go for 2, make it a 3-point game, but this Middle Tennessee defense stops us on that one. So now we give the ball back to Urzua here, and he's been moving the ball pretty nicely in the first half. And let's see if he can keep it going in the second half as he's facing a 2nd and 5 this time. Has all day to throw, but this time Ryan Marshall collapses on him and comes up with the sack. So now facing a 3rd and 10. No way he can get this one. Urzua throws a dart to the left side and gets it. Patrick Smith, his receiver, gets open, breaks free, and that's like one of those Aaron Rodgers type plays where it breaks down. The receivers have to run their second route, and he gets open. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. So here is Urzua keeping this drive alive, but this time on a 3rd and 7, throwing to the outside before the first down marker. So Middle Tennessee State does have to settle for a field goal, and their kicker's got a whole lot of leg, and he nails that one. So now down 8 points is Coastal as we find our receiver over the middle, Marcus Milam, making plenty of good throws now. He's getting comfortable as now he's throwing to the outside, finding Amari Manuel. Amari Manuel is just killing this game. That one puts him over 100 yards with 6 receptions as we are now closing in on the 4th quarter as Marcus Milam gets swallowed up for the sack, trying to run and get away from the defenders that time. But on a 3rd and long, we do complete the pass for 11 yards, but still 4th and 8 as we found Mason Wynn on that one. We have to go for this. So we throw the middle, and CJ Goodwin stepping up in a big way this game. 61 yards on 4 receptions, all clutch receptions as we continue this drive. And here is Cameron Yates putting a move on the safety and gets in for the touchdown. Cameron Yates is having himself a game as that is another touchdown added as we do go for 2 and get that. So now here we are tied up at 45 apiece and close to 5 minutes left in this fourth quarter, as Urzua hasn't been putting up the points he was putting up in the first half. Maybe our defense is starting to step up, as Frederick Billups is there for the quarterback contain. Good work getting to the outside from the defensive tackle position. So now on a 3rd and 13, here's Urzua throwing to the outside, but it's going to be another completion. So now here's Urzua now inside our territory, close to the 30-yard line this time, throwing to the outside, finding his receiver, Tyshawn Brown, and now they're inside the 15. So running the ball is Gordon here, but a gang of Coastal Carolina guys led by Alvin Jefferson gets in for the tackle. So here's Urzua on a 3rd and 13, and so close. Richie James almost gets in on that one, but we do stop them as they attempt to kick a field goal, trying to draw us up offsides, and instead they draw the flag. So they do kick the field goal on a 4th and 5, and they do nail it. So now, can we drive down the field? 2.5 minutes left in this game, and we just need to put together a slow, methodical drive. But facing a 3rd and 1, we get stuffed. So 4th and 3, it comes down to this, as Milan from the shotgun picks up a nice chop block on the outside by Corey Lisi, the left tackle, and that is going to be a 1st down. So now 1.5 minutes left in this game, and here is a deep throw. Amari Manuel there for another catch. And wow, what a game Amari Manuel and Cameron Yates are having. Both playmakers, I mean, they are just getting it done. As Cameron Yates, speaking of him, he gets a 3-yard carry on that next play, as now we're inside of 1 minute. And here's Harry Lohr, the strong safety, getting in for the catch. So now facing a 1st and 10, close to the 10-yard line. Another counter play. Cameron Yates gets to the outside, stiff arms a defender, and he's in for the 14-yard touchdown run. But is this too much time left for Middle Tennessee State to come back in this game? We'll have to see, because here is Urzua, and he has had himself a game up to this point. And here on a 1st and 10, 30 seconds left in this game, finding Tucker close to the 30-yard line. So on another 1st and 10 here, 30 seconds left. This time, nobody there for the contain. He rolls outright and picks up a good gain, 15 yards, close to the 50-yard line. 22 seconds left in this game. Urzua, play action, throwing to the outside, now past the 50-yard line, inside of enemy territory. 17 seconds left, trying to run the screenplay, and this time he gets tripped up. Staying in bounds is Maurice Gordon, and look at this clock. It's running. 7, 6, 5. I mean, this clock is running, and look at Urzua. He's getting up to spike it, but they have one timeout. They could have just called timeout, but instead they elect to spike it. So one last heave to the end zone. 3rd and 6. Here's Urzua throwing it deep, and that one's knocked to the ground. And Coastal gets their first win streak of the season. And what a game. I mean, we gave up so many yards, so many points in the first half, and we come back here in the second half. Cameron Yates had himself a game. 5 touchdowns, count them, 5, 120 yards. And you know who else did? Amari Manuel, 7 receptions, 129 yards. I mean, if those two can show up like this on a weekly basis, our offense is going to be good. And you look at how our team came together on the defensive end the second half. We just need to do that more consistently in the first half. Come out with sacks. Make the computer make mistakes. Like they rolled out, he fumbled, or Urzua fumbled. And I mean, that's our defensive line. That's our defensive line getting pressure on him, making him think, making him scramble. We got to do more of that. We need more of the pass rush. I want to see more sacks from our D-line. But it's a good start. 2-5. We do get a couple of wins within the conference, so it's good to build off of this. So hit subscribe, hit that like button, because, man, I think we're on to something, man. I can't lie. I think we're on to something. So you don't want to miss any action coming up. So stay tuned. Let's go.